Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1961 movie West Side Story. So with Steven Spielberg's new remake coming out this Friday, I thought I'd go ahead and revisit and review this movie because I haven't seen it in a really long time and everything, so I thought I'd go ahead and rewatch it and do my review for it. So this movie stars Natalie Wood, Richard Beimer, Russ Tamblyn, Rita Moreno, and George Chakiris. And this movie follows two different gangs, the Jets, who are like this Polish-American teenager gang, and the Sharks, who are Puerto Rican. It's a gang, immigrated Puerto Ricans, and they're fighting for who's going to own the streets of New York. And things kind of start getting crazy when Tony, one of the Jets, falls in love with Maria, the sister of the leader of the Sharks, and comes out to big conflict between both gangs and stuff throughout the movie. This is one of those movies that I watched a lot when I was younger. I watched it quite a bit when I was in high school and everything. It was one that I really liked and everything. I kind of burnt myself out on it for a while and everything, but I have always liked this movie. I did think it was a little overrated a little bit too when I was younger, but at the same time I did really enjoy it, and I still really do. I really had a lot of fun with this movie. At parts of it, there were parts where it makes you really sad, and you hate seeing the characters go through the stuff that they go through in this movie and everything. Like, there's some really crazy stuff that happens in here. I forgot how dark it is. Everything. It's not your typical musical. It has a lot of really dark stuff going on throughout it and everything. Like when certain characters die and stuff, it's just really, really emotional. Although there were some things about it that I didn't like when Maria's brother is killed by Tony and stuff, and she's mad at him for like 2 seconds, and then and she's just okay with it, even though she believes that he didn't do it on purpose, and knows that it was a misunderstanding and stuff. It just, to me, that wasn't really realistic. But I mean, in these type of movies, you can't really expect a lot of realism anyway. And this movie has more realistic stuff than a lot of musicals do at the same time. So I mean, it is what it is. But I think all of the casts are really good in here. Although I do wish that they would have done their own singing. Like a lot of musicals in this time period, a lot of the actors and stuff lip sang and stuff, and it doesn't really bother me as bad with this movie because the dubbing is really good. Like, the only reason I know that they lip sang was because I had read about it and stuff. If I wouldn't have known that, I probably wouldn't have really known. But I always like it more in musicals when the actors are doing their own singing too and everything, as long as they're not like using auto-tune like they do sometimes nowadays. But I think that they were all pretty good. I do think that they shouldn't have casted some of the actors they did, though, for some of the roles. Like some of the Puerto Rican characters should have been played by Puerto Rican actors instead of white actors in brown face. I thought that was kind of dumb and everything. And as much as I love Natalie Wood, and I think she gives a really great performance in this movie, I don't think that she should have been cast as Maria. I think that they should have stuck with a Puerto Rican actress and not made her wear brown face and stuff. But I love Natalie Wood, though, and I think that she does give a really great performance in the movie, though. I can't really deny that. And the songs in here there's some really, really good songs in here, especially I Feel Pretty. It's just a really, really catchy song, and every time I hear it, I also think that kind of funny because of the movie Anger Management with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson. Because if you've seen the movie, you know there's like a big scene in the movie where they're singing the song, and it's just one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Every time I watch this movie and I hear that song, it just makes me think of Anger Management. But it's a really catchy song. But I like a lot of the other songs too. Maria, which is sung by Tony right after they meet and stuff, and Tonight, I love that song. G Officer Krupke, I love that song too. I forgot how catchy a lot of the songs in this movie were as well. And it's a really, really good movie. It's one that, I forgot how much I like it. It really is entertaining, and it's way, way better than I remembered it to be, because I hadn't seen it in a long time and everything. And I know that it's a really great musical, and it's one that's one of the most popular musicals of all time. And I think that's why I've always kind of thought it was a little overrated, because there are a lot of other musicals I think are better movies and stuff, but I forgot how good this one was. And it's really colorful at times and everything, but it's also really dark at times. I love like the way the feel of the movie and everything. Like there's this the atmosphere of it is just really, really well done and everything. And the dancing and stuff, the choreography is really great in here, and just really, really fun movie and everything. So I think it holds up pretty well. Like I said, some of the stuff that doesn't is mostly with the casting and everything, and them using brown face. They shouldn't have done that. I don't think that they should have done that. But aside from that, I think this is a really fun movie and really entertaining, and I can overlook it because I know it's a product of its time. Like back then, they didn't really cast the right ethnicities for the characters and stuff, which isn't right, but it is what it is. But I do enjoy this movie. I think it could have been a little bit shorter, though. It is 2.5 hours, and there are times that it does drag, although I don't really know what they could have really cut out of it without ruining the movie either. So like it's one of those things. It's really long. That's another reason I don't watch it as much as I used to, is because the runtime is 2.5 hours, so it drags a little bit in the middle. But all in all, I think that this is a good movie. And I know I've said in the past that I think that Spielberg's remake is going to easily be better, but after rewatching it tonight, his remake is, I'm sure, going to be great, but it's hard to say whether it'll be better or not. I'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping to see it on Friday, and if I do, I'll do a review for it. But I think this is a pretty good movie. The only other thing I really I've always had trouble with is trying to remember which character is which, because every time I watch this movie, I always forget who is who in the actors and stuff. Like aside from Tony and Maria, like I always forget which one's Riff or which one's Anita or stuff like that sometimes, until it gets later into the movie and everything. But yeah, so I'd say I'd give West Side Story an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really great musical, and it was fun rewatching it. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I don't know if it's one that I don't want to rewatch very often, because like I said, the runtime does kind of drag it down a little bit, but it's one that I'll probably rewatch every so often and everything, now that I've rewatched it and everything and remembered how much I liked it. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of the original version of West Side Story. Do you think it's one of the greatest musicals of all time, or do you think it's overrated? I'm kind of somewhere like in the middle. I think it's a little overrated, but at the same time, I understand why people love it so much, because it is a really great movie and everything. So it's kind of like a mixed bag for me, but on that part. But I think it is a really great movie. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.